Hello fellow map makers, welcome to another live map making session. Hope you're all doing fine. I've created many beautiful maps over the last week and are eager to dive into the next mapping session with July's annual issue. I've recently been on a bit of a trip to the Outer Hebrides in Scotland, and one of the things that struck me on my hikes there was the enormous detail and complexity of the coastline in those Ice Age glacier scraped landscapes, where you've got tons of little bays and fjords and lakes, or lochs as they're called up there. And that brought to my attention that our maps fairly rarely do those coastlines justice. You probably quite a few of those know the old joke from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy about Slutty Bartfast and the prize he won for creating the Norwegian coastlines. And this is something similar, so we'll see whether we can win any prizes for fjords and bays and lochs today. Hope the sound is okay, let me know. Just trying to get rid of the cat in front of the screen here at the moment. Hi Asa, say hello to everybody. Yeah, go. He doesn't want to be picked up. The crinkly bits, right. So that's totally correct. As always, if you have any questions during the session, post them in the chat and we'll all together try to answer them and see what we can come up with today. I'll do some of the basic stuff from the annual issue today, but I'll also take a look at expanding the available options and creating your own symbols. I know there's been one or two questions about that on the forum, and I'll see that I can show how to easily expand the symbol options that come with this annual issue. Alright, so let's get going. I'll start off by creating a new map from the file toolbar. Not gonna actually I can save my changes. And the map type is among the overland maps. Click next. And the title is the Island Chains from the 2022 annual. And from here we'll just click next, and here we can set the size of our map. It doesn't really matter that much for tonight's session because we're not going into too much detail of the landscape interior. We are focused on the coastlines, but I'll just put in a new map size here and then click finish. Go to my current work folder, which is our video folder, and save the map. Here we are with the blank seascape to put our coastlines on. The style itself is perhaps a bit rudimentary. It just focuses mainly on the coastlines and everything, but it's also meant to be easily adjustable to work with other overland styles, so you can take most of the tools and then just reuse them with a few instructions as given in the annual mapping guide on different overland styles. And so that's why the style itself is not so extensive. But we're going to start out with actually a bit of coastline. I don't want to do the island tools right away, so we'll just... Is the stream okay? I had a bit of a loading screen there for a moment on my preview. Let me know. Perhaps I'm just lagging a little bit behind. Good. And I'm gonna right click the default landmass to see some of the tools we've listed here. And actually there are also just the names. And we can start by just using the default tool. As usual, click on the edge somewhere to start the map. to start the coastline, and then use the fractal tool to create a fairly detailed coastline. Let's see whether we can actually, let me hide a bit of the background sheet here for the moment, so you can actually see the coastline better that I'm drawing, because I want to show you how to adjust that while drawing it. We do want a fairly detailed coastline to match our islands itself, and for that we do use the fractal function, but that is a bit limited in how many nodes and how basically wiggly your coastline can be, but we can adjust that as we draw that with the arrow keys to make the line straighter and more wiggly, as you can see here. Arrow up, more stronger changes, arrow down, flatter line. And no, we're not going to do the node increase the node itself, but we can set how strong the deviation from the baseline is. And the higher we make that, the wigglier the coastline would look, as you can see here. And then we can just draw the coastline in this fashion. Do a few bays in there, and right click here to finish the coastline. And one thing I want to show you, see what I drew first if I deactivate the sheet effects, is just a plain green polygon, fractal polygon in this case, but you see it doesn't have any sheet effects or basically no bitmap texture included. And all this is done through the sheet effects. Basically, you would just, if we take a look at the land sheet, that's where we're drawing in, see there's quite a few sheet effects on here, and the most important one that does the bitmap texture is the texture overblend. Basically, we link this to the Mike Schley land texture, as you can see here, overland tiles, overland Mike Schley land, and then set a scale for this based on the drawing extent width, so it does look fine on no matter how big our map size is, and then just apply this. In addition to that, some glows, the slight darker green inside glow, and if we zoom in a little bit further, you can see there's also a bit of a yellow glow with for beaches, and then the coastline itself, the dark blue line. This is also not a separate entity, it's just a auto glow effect, which makes it much easier to integrate multiple entities into one coastline, as you'll see in a moment. Yes, you can, as Sue says in the chat, apply any texture with the overblend effect. So, for example, if you're looking to change this to a drawing style that matches, say, the John Roberts overland style, then you can go in here, and we are in our program data folder, go to overland, and your John Roberts, where is he? Jonathan Roberts, there we are. And there we have a land or multiple land textures. I can also show them. And then here's the medium one. Grab this, apply this one, and you can see the whole bitmap texture has changed. But I'm going to go back to my Mike Schley overland style and grab the land. I'm suggest always using the VH for very high detail version. The others are there just for displaying textures at lower resolutions. So if you want to apply the texture here, you always want the best resolution available. and that's the VH version of the PNG. Then we're back, and let's show our background sheets again, just to show you why I do have two sheets in here. Basically, my ocean sheet just has a coloring effect on there. So because I wanted to do some stronger, darker blue colors for my style. In the background is also Mike Schley sea texture. So if you want to go more for the lighter Mike Schley style, you can just hide the overland, the ocean sheet. And there we are again with our dark blue background. Now for the special tools that come with this annual issue. Basically, they are mostly included in the symbol catalog. You can see here on the left side in the catalog window, we do have several different islands in different sizes and detail levels. So we do have, they are all grouped. So if I take a look, large islands, we've got 6 of those. And if I click the group, it will select a random one from that one, and it will also randomly rotate that island and also scale it a bit randomly. So we do get different quickly changed islands. See, is this the same? No, actually it's not the same as third one. There we go. And this way we can also overlap this with the map board a little bit if we want to show an island or part of the mainland that extends beyond the map border. And if I do a redraw, you'll see that the same sheet effect gets applied to the island. Basically, the islands go on the same sheet as the landmass that I drew with my landmass drawing tool. And so far so good. That's a nice and quick and easy way to create some larger islands. But another thing that you can do, you can easily combine them, because they also all get on the same sheet, and everything with the coastline is done by the sheet effects. I can just plop the island in here, and you can see now it's an overlap. But if I do a refresh, due to the sheet effects, it combines into one simple coastline. What does have a bit of a drawback that you can't basically do traces along the coastline that easily on these, because it's separate entities and you have to switch the entity you want to trace if you wanted to add stuff like political borders or terrain textures that follow the coastline. That gets a little bit more complicated. But for visual purposes, easy purposes here, it's very convenient where you can do the same with islands. Just plop the island up here, and you've got a bigger one with a different coastline. Very quick and easily to vary your island's coastline, and do that a few times and you won't really see the individual symbols anymore and the different shapes. Very quick and easy to combine these. The same basically, it's just with smaller islands. If you then grab the medium islands, so you can just add a few of those. And same principle, again, we can add these to existing coastlines to change these up, and they combine quickly and easily. And if you want to go in and for say do something small, do some changes manually, we could try and grab our polygon tool, but we cannot edit these because they are symbols. But what we can do, we can use extract properties on this and explode our entity. And now we should be able to go in. Let's do a quick save because I haven't actually tried this. And grab our land default tool. And now, no, it doesn't work. Let's have a look what we have here. Oops, I wanted to do list on this. Let's do 2D polygon. Ah, I know what the difference is. It's actually gone on the symbol definition sheet and not on the same sheet as our polygon here. See, that should be on relief contours. So what we need to do, we need to change the layer of this entity to go on relief contours. And let's fingers crossed. Yeah, so you can see we can now use our drawing tool to modify these. So you just need to explode them and move the exploded symbols to the relief contours sheet, not sheet, but layer. And then you can use the drawing tools to edit the islands. That should normally not be possible, because you can also do stuff like, if you wanted to add another bay, you can use our lake symbols. You can see they have this nice bright and purple, and I will just plop one of the small ones in here. It doesn't very much look like a lake yet, but sheet effects to the rescue. And the land sheet has a color key effect that basically punches out anything with that magenta color into to show the ocean color beneath, and therefore making lakes. And what you can also do, you can use this to create bays. If you overlap this with the border here, there we do have another little bay. Do the same up here, and quickly and easily we do have the entity combined. First asked whether you could combine them into a single entity. Yes, you could, though it's a bit more involved process. You could trace them, but if you have multiple symbols and pieces in there, it can get a bit complicated. So let's do a quick look here and how we could combine these. So let's explode over all of these. Okay, now I've done something weird. Let's just turn off sheet effects here for the moment and hide the background in ocean sheet. That way I can see the stuff better. Here we are. And let's explode this and these actually. And then we break them up. So we just have the coastline sections here. You do it slowly, the break command, select the entity you want to break, and then the 2 points that define the break we want. Same here with our magenta piece. There we are. And then we would trim the corners together, trim to intersect. This corner, to use the command, click trim, and then the first entity you want to trim near the trimming point, second entity, same here. And now we could use path to poly, select all the entities, press D for do it, and now I've got something wrong in here. There's obviously a mistake in that. I can take a look. Might have been that I've doubled up something. No, that does look correct. Let's try combine paths first. Combine paths. The first thing, second one. Choose S and F to connect the endpoints together correctly, but this is not how they should connect. Escape and undo. That's a bit strange. Combine path, this one. That looks correct. This looks better. And then path to poly. We still have something weird going on here. See, I'm already finding something strange again. But I would have to look into that more closely, and I think that's not the time to do here. What I'm doing wrong, or what is happening here, that this is actually combining the wrong way. This looks, something is odd here with that piece. You can see that I think there's a bit of a doubling of the line going back and forth, or something going on. In any case, we'll just undo here and restore. No, I can't go back far enough anymore. What I can try is I can explode everything here into lines and then do a line to path on this and change properties. No, it's not the path to poly. Select them all again. Oh, there's a section missing down here. Here. No, I just keep finding strange pieces here in the polygon. Okay, I'm gonna shelve this. I'm just gonna redo this for the moment here because I'm going down a rabbit hole trying to fix this island. Instead, I'm just gonna put a new one in its place and turn on the sheet effects and sheets again. But theoretically, it should work like this if you explode them, trim them together, and then convert them in polygon. But that's also something for the future to improve that combining of different polygons into one entity. You can, of course, always use a multi-poly, but that has its own downsides. So that's something we have on our agenda to improve, to do a command that lets you easily merge multiple polygons into one proper one. All right, so let's see how we're going on here. We've got our islands placed down. I also wanted to place a few small and tiny islands to create more island chains here. Just placing them down. And a few tiny ones. These can also easily sprinkle them by just clicking quickly and along lines or coastlines or areas to fill them up with small islands. And what we do have in tools for that are the archipelago and island chain tools. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see these drawing tool symbols. For example, you can create an archipelago with small islands or tiny islands in dense or light sprinkling of islands. So let's grab the archipelago tiny light, and we're gonna outline an area where we want to sprinkle our islands. Right click to finish, and there we have automatic placements, random placements of the different islands. Or alternatively, go for one of the island chains. Do a small one here, just draw the line, and it does get filled with appropriate island symbols. Continue that with a tiny piece, and there we are. And of course you can take these and modify them further with individual islands, or again overlap stuff to break up the shapes into different islands. and build your complex coastlines like this. Yeah, right. It's basically answering the question as versus post them right away. Yes, that's what the drawing tools are defined for. And I also want to show you how to set up a different setting, for example. So these are the commands the tools are using as one symbols in area, and the other one is symbols along. And you can access these commands directly from the draw menu. And here you've got symbols in along, symbols in area. Let's have a look at the symbols along. Actually, let's have a look what setting we have here. Actually, let me do a quick restart. Sometimes I'm not sure yet why that happens. I can't get the file dialog from the load from the symbols along dialog, and a restart fixes that. Not sure yet why that happens. That's something that I need to report to Joe. Anyway, I'm going to go into program data and 3C plus, and then under systems we have the fillers. Basically that's what all these settings are, fillers. And you see the one starting with CA187, that's the current angle. And if I take a look at the small island chain here, I can load that. And this is the setting. Basically, it does reference the symbol catalog that comes with the annual issue. And then one symbol is selected, small island 1. And importantly, it allows the random symbol selection from a group, meaning it will not always take the small island 1, but instead use all the different island symbols that have a number at the end and randomly select from those. And those are 20 different ones, I think. Yes, 20 different ones. And each of those will be randomly scaled and rotated, so they will all look very different. Then you do have settings here how many symbols to place maximum. This is basically a safeguard that you don't fill your whole map accidentally with tiny symbols and overwhelm your whole system. So it will stop after placing 1000 islands in one go. Of course, if it really do need more and your system handles them fine, you can do that multiple ones or increase the size here of your setting. Symbol angle is actually not that important for this tool because we are rotating them anyway in full 360 degrees, so whether this tool rotates them any further is really not that important. And then we do have stuff like the distance between the symbols, how much this distance should be randomly changed, whether we take the symbol's own width into account, and another random scaling, and that wouldn't really have been necessary to introduce that in here. This is on top of the random scaling that the command does anyway. What I wanted to show you is how to create a tool that makes even lighter island chain with less dense placement, and for that we can reduce the chance to place. Basically, the tool goes through the different spots it wants to place an island, and in this version of the tool adds gives it a 75% chance that the symbol get actually placed. So let's reduce that quite significantly to just 25%. So only 1 in 4 spots will be filled. And then we're going to save the setting as with a new name, small island chain light. And if we want to use this directly, we can do so, but we do need to draw line first, because we do the symbols along this line. So we draw this and then go into draw symbols. No, sorry, not symbols in area, but draw symbols along. That's my 25%. Okay. And okay. Why don't I see my path anymore? That's because I've the settings hide these paths. And so, for example, you see them here because the drawing tool draws these paths draw along, and just to simply they don't show up, the sheet effects hide them. Of course, I would now want to see one, which I've drawn myself, so I need to turn off the sheet effects for a moment. And now, if I hide the effects again, you can see the line is gone, and I do have just a few symbols. Perhaps a few. We don't really see that this is an island chain anymore. So what we can do, we can go in, symbols along, change that to 50%, and save this. Okay, so, but what if we don't want to use this always draw the line ourselves, but instead want a drawing tool like this ones? For that we can right click in all drawing tools, go into advanced, the advanced version of the dialog, and we do have the small chain here, which we did a new setting for, and so we're gonna do new and just call it light island chain small. And then we need to change here the command to execute, basically the macro that the tool uses, and this, see, this line loads the setting for symbols along, and we created the new one where we just added small to the name. Save this and let's give this a try, and see, now we can draw the smooth path directly from the drawing tool, right click to finish, and manage to mess it up. So see, yes, Sue is right, that was my error, it was light what I did, and changed to the in the drawing tool, draw symbols along, load, and now I can't load that dialog again. Okay, so let's do a quick restart. Certainly found another bug in there. Draw symbols along, load, and safest thing is to copy the whole file name in here. And now go back into our drawing tools, command to execute, and replace the file name with the one we've copied. There we go, save. Thank you, Sue, for spotting that. No, but I don't, still not quite working as I wanted to. What's up? Let's have a look. Hide our background ocean sheet. No. Deactivate our sheet effects. Let's erase a little bit here. And draw symbols along. Small load. Yeah, okay, that does work. So let's see what happened in the drawing tool. That's an achievement. What I did save something wrong there. See, that's the wrong macro. Let's copy this again, paste the correct one in here, and add the light here. Okay. That does look better. Save. Okay. And draw. There we are. That's better. It does work now. Don't know what I misclicked there in the first attempt. And we can erase this for the moment. All the different chains we did here. Show all our effects again. And try it once more, just to make sure it does work now. What it doesn't have at the moment is a preview. Basically, you have to draw a little drawing showing your with the same name as your tool in the program data folder. And well, actually, I'll show you that in a moment how to do that. Let's give it a try first. Yeah, it does work now. So what if you wanted to create a proper preview for your new tool? See, at the moment it's empty. For that we have to take a look into our program data folder. Where are we? The program data C3 Plus in system again, and the draw tools in our 2022 island chains. And you can see these are all the previews for the different drawing tools that use macros and therefore need a preview drawing. So we're gonna use the island chain here, small, open it, save the current map, and here's our chain. What we're gonna do, instead of redrawing from scratch, because it's just being a bit lighter in placement, we'll just remove some of the islands. And now we're gonna save this as light here. And let's have a quick look. And there you can see the tool now does have its preview. The trick is to have a little drawing that has the same name as the drawing tool, except for the file extension, and then the preview here from the drawing tool dialog. We'll pick that up and use that as the preview for the tool. All right. Yes, Sue has a good suggestion there. If you're using the drawing tools, adding the macros in the drawing tools, it is actually safer to use to edit them in a text with a text editor. They are also saved in the draw tools folder. And but it was one step too many for what I was going to show you here. All right. So let's go back to our proper map. Turn on sheet effects again. And here's our island chains. So one thing that was a question on the forum was how to create your own symbols to create more options. And for that I'm just going to open the symbol catalog and quickly show you how to add more symbols to this. So let's have a look and go into, again, the program data folder. This time into the symbols directory, maps, and then we need to change the file type symbol catalog. Scroll down, and there's the 187, the number of the current annual. And here are our different symbols. So, there we go. And let's say we are not quite satisfied with our medium island choices. We do have, I think, 10 or so medium islands, 10 medium islands, but I do want to remove more shapes. And for that, I'm gonna start out by placing one in here as a reference point. So just I have the general size of the symbol as reference. And then I'm going to explode that symbol and use the extract properties to set all the settings to the same as this symbol. And then I'm going to draw a few islands in that same general shape, and I'm going to use the fractal drawing tools command here directly. And first one, and then a second one. Might do be a bit more detailed with the coastline to match the existing ones, but I want to keep it short here. What we of course can do, I can use the fractalize command once on each. I wouldn't use it too often, otherwise it gets okay. Interesting. Sometimes the selection color doesn't get cleared object, and that obviously was what happened here. And then I can do another one. I might even, what I can also do is well, that's perhaps a bit counterproductive, but if I do want island combination of two different ones, can also do two ones together, and there's my basic new symbols, three new symbols. And to put them in the same group and have them combined with the other medium islands in the group, I do need to have them the same name as them with continuing numbers. So our last one of the medium islands is 10, so we do need a medium island 11, 12, and 13. And then we're just going to go into symbols, define symbol. There we are. Select the symbol, press D for do it, and we can put the prefix 187 and a space in here, and then the proper name, medium island 11. This is all good, the color and everything, and we do want the center as the origin. Okay, it vanishes. Do the same again for the next one, and we just need to increase the number here. So and these together, item 13. All right, this is already, we had that already, so we're not going to reuse it. I'm just going to delete it. Now I'm going to go into my symbol manager, and you see the new symbols get added on at the end. And we can just, I could use an external find to sort them, but for these three I'm just going to move these up in the list. I'm just going to take a moment to get them up to, oh actually this is probably taking too long. What I'm going to show you a proper way to do symbol reordering now to do this quickly, because we do need them in together with the other medium island symbols in the same location in the symbol catalog, so they get picked up as a group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rename reorder and create a SymDev file. I'm just going to put it in my download folder here. Just call it temp. Go into downloads, double click my temp folder, just adjust this so everybody can see it. And here are all the different symbols listed that are in the catalog. Here are the last ones, and just I'm going to put them together with the other one that I already moved, then copy them together and put them in the place where they should be. Medium lake, oh no, That's not where they should be. That's the medium lake. I need the medium island further up. There we are. And save that file. And now I can go into the symbol catalog again, go symbols, rename and reorder, import reordered symdefs. Double click the file, and now my medium islands are behind the others. You can see here, this is the group with the original ones, and then 11, 12, and 13. But they're not part of the group yet. Why not? Because I do need to set the symbol options for them. So I go into, take a look at the medium island options. And what we do have here, it is part of a collection. The collection is defined by numbers at the end. We do select randomly from the group when we click it. It does have random transformations. Check, rotate, 360-degree rotation, and scaling from 0.9 to 1.1. Also randomly mirrored. And it goes on the land sheet. And we do need to set this for these ones. Options, symbol is one of a collection, numbers at the end, randomly select from collection, random transformations. We want a 360-degree rotation, scaling from 0.9 to 1.1, independent, 0.9, 1.1, and also randomly mirror. And finally, we want them to go on the land sheet. Okay, now we have a look, and now you can see they've vanished into the medium island group. If I expand that, we do have medium islands 11, 12, and 13 as part of the group. And if I now go back to my own map, I can reload the symbol catalog here, or I think it's probably should already have been reloaded by loading the map. Yes, you can see medium island 11, 12, and 13 are part of that collection. Close this again. And we can now place the medium islands, which include our new symbols. And this works the same for all the different symbols in there. It will all actually already now be included in the island chain medium drawing tool, because that just picks up the same catalog and uses all the medium symbols, island symbols in that catalog. Quick and easy to add new ones. What you can also do, you can import real world island coastlines and use them in these symbol catalogs. Basically, that what I did with the large islands in here. Those are all actual island shapes from the Outer Hebrides. And basically what I'm showing here is the lakes, but the lakes are basically just the same symbols with different coloring, and so they get the color key effect applied. And for example, if I build an area with many tiny lakes, I can just sprinkle them here. Refresh, and there we do have our islands on the map. That's another typical landscape for glacial, or landscape that have been formed through glaciers in the ice ages. Lots of little lakes dotted around the landscape. Alright, and from here you can use the river drawing tools and lakes drawing tools as well to cut out. They also use the same color key effect. So if you want to draw a river here, just draw it across. You don't need to match the coastline exactly, because it's just the cutout effect, and there's your river. And then go in and label your map, which I won't do in this annual issue, because I want to finish a little bit early today, because it's actually my father's birthday and I've been invited and I need to head out to see my parents. So I hope I've shown you how to work with the annual issue for the island chains style. If you want to use the tools in different drawing styles, check out the mapping guide that comes with the annual issue. And that will tell you how to use all this in a different drawing style. Basically, just what you need to do, you need to modify the other drawing style to do the texture blend, overblend effect, and the coast outline effect instead of having a separate coast outline. And then you can just simply use these drawing tools and these symbols in that style. Alright, thanks everybody for the birthday wishes, and have a good evening, and hope to see you again next week. Enjoy your mapping, and have a good one. All the best. Bye bye.